We're back on the uplink with Polina De Paulla, and our topic this week is the happiness factor. Um, I'm sure you've noticed I'm almost always smiling, and even those that know me, they know this because I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be doing business. I love what I do, and I love the people I work with. Whether it's a new relationship in business or it's a potential relationship, I'm excited to meet the next person. I always say in my mandate that my business is to keep you excited. If I can't keep you excited, my happiness factor is at its lowest. So if I can get you excited, or if we can get excited about your next success level together and discover new depths, new heights, new dimensions for you, my job is done. Now, this is the part where in happiness, we always say, it must be something that maybe it belongs on the analyst's couch, where the psychologist or the psychiatrist then asks, what is your happiness level? Are you happy with your life? No, my friend. We are living in COVID times. I'm sure you've noticed that there's a rise in people who are depressed, suffering from mental illness, or suffering from some level of debilitation as a result of staying at home or in lockdown. Here is a simple solution. Whatever you do, stay connected. We are in the digital era. This is where you take advantage of every gadget and every opportunity. Sometimes even when you don't feel like it. I am not patronizing people. I'm encouraging you. Tap into your happiness factor even when it's at its lowest. Find somebody just to say hello. Ask them how they're doing in business. You might be surprised that by making them happy to talk about themselves, it'll turn around and come back to you and deliver a level of satisfaction, happiness, or potential happiness for you, or an opportunity that will unlock your happiness factor. Stay connected. Phone somebody. Text somebody. I make it a habit every day to text at least 20 people for no apparent reason, to just say, hello, how are you today? Do you know why? Because even when I'm not feeling happy, what they're going to tell me is going to take me out of my own introspection and keep me focused on what I can do, how I can do it, or where I can fit into their narrative, whatever it is they're saying. I try to stay connected. Secondly, don't be afraid. Everybody else is as afraid as you are. So don't optimize or capitalize on your fears. Rather, take advantage of whatever situation, and remember, you might be the only person who is overthinking your situation. Everybody else is overthinking their situation. The happiness factor is a critical ingredient in us basically staying alive in business. Networks nowadays are virtual. So you need to keep your virtual networks alive. Join a group, even for the sake of reading, even if you don't actually, there are people who are called the terrace people. Even if you're a terrace person, you're going to there will come a day when you tap into your happiness factor just by reading through what people say. It might be a comment that's hilarious or educational, informative, or directional. At the end of the day, or even inspirational, stay connected. You need people. You need products. You need services. And similarly, everybody out there needs you. Even at your worst, you are valuable to somebody. I need this to be, I'm going to call this the inspirational end of the happiness vector for me. Even at your worst, you are valuable. Even if at your poorest, you add wealth to somebody. Even at your weakest, you are actually going to make somebody strong. Even at your most afraid, guess what? You're going to give courage to somebody. So get up, get dressed, and show up. Because that is one pillar of the happiness factor that has always, always guaranteed people success. People that succeed, it's not that they do things that they love, but they do what is right, even when they don't feel okay. They do what is right, even when they don't feel okay. So be one of those that are counted as present and accounted for, even when your times are telling you that this is not your best look. I'm going to refer back again to our late Chadwick Boseman. He actually, for me, is the epitome of the happiness factor. He did what he loved. He brought you shows that created dreamers in our children and believers even in the adults. Sometimes you might say at the expense of his own well-being. But that's because his happiness factor lay in bringing you happiness, bringing you a dream, bringing you a vision, awakening the panther in you. So today, rise up, be the panther in your own business model. We're talking about the happiness factor. Someone might think, oh, it doesn't constitute much in my business. Quick recap. It actually is the be all and end all of business. It's the be all and end all of why you are here. It will draw people to you or drive people away from you in your business. Happiness factor has so many elements like a good cake. It has ingredients. Something like integrity. There are people who are happy or they get satisfaction, whether it's business satisfaction or job satisfaction, when integrity is exercised at its highest level. They will shy away from people who lack integrity or do not display or do not activate or engage at levels of integrity that actually speak to themselves. What are we saying? In your business, whether you're a small scale, an entrepreneur, an intrapreneur, an upstart, whatever it is that you are, there's something we always say, oh, what's my mission, my vision, my value statement, etc. Guess what? Those are the simplest condensation of the happiness factor. In a nutshell, you are trying to tell people what makes your business the happiest place or the place of choice. I'm sure you've heard people saying, oh, our vision is to be the business of choice or the supplier of choice in a given industry, or to be the best or a service excellence, and they'll give you how they're going to do that, the strategies and methods that they're going to undertake or engage in order to achieve their goals. Goals are actually the substance of happiness factor. Okay? It's the substance of your passion. For instance, if your business grows and it's part of your goal, then you can put that on your checklist and say, we achieved our goals, we are happy. Again, even within that, you can then say, did we grow enough to be satisfied? Then you check again and you say, oh, 1% is good enough, or 10% is good enough. Or we need to grow by 150%, and somebody will say, hey, that's super growth or super profit. Maybe that's what makes you happy. Happiness factor is something you define at a personal level within the business persona. And it also sets the cap on your ethics, your values, your processes, and the people you're going to engage with in order to tap into that happiness. So, what are we talking about here? If you have a small business, I like to always refer to our vendors. I believe I once told you about this gentleman who sells water in the streets of Harare. Man, he dresses for the job. On a Monday, he'll be wearing a blue suit, blue shoes, blue cap, everything. You're just happy to look at him. You don't mind buying his water. On a Tuesday, he's wearing red from head to toe. He is color blocked, whether it's checked up. You look forward to seeing him. If you love your water and you want to buy it from the street, this vendor has you covered, but he makes it a memorable experience, not just for himself. It means he's happy doing what he does, and he wants you to be happy buying what he provides. So what if he was to actually write it down to say, what is my value? It's actually creating a transactional experience between myself and my customer. That's his value. That's his happiness factor. In your case, if you are a dressmaker, or if you are a machine builder, an engine builder, what is your happiness factor? Where do you place value? Where do you place depth? Sure, you qualified, you got your degree, your diploma, your certificate, your qualification. Those are critical in order for you to deliver quality. But quality does not guarantee happiness. What guarantees happiness is service excellence, delivery, how your product is received, and how you land it on the desk or the table or the doorstep of the consumer. That's where happiness lies. You might say it's an intangible, but it becomes tangible when somebody expresses it outwardly, gives a testimony or a testimonial, or advertises you to the next potential customer, or ushers you into your new market by virtue of having enjoyed what you do. So your happiness factor becomes contagious. Are you contagious? Are you like any other joy factor or any other satisfaction element? Are you relatable? Are you contactable? Are you reachable? Don't forget, when we talk about our happiness factor, like me with my story about the bicycle, I was so happy to drive it, but I couldn't stop it. Are you disciplined? You must also have discipline. You must also also shape your happiness factor. It must have parameters. It can't be random, something you fall into. It has to be structured. We're not saying you can't be spontaneous in your business. Spontaneity in business is defined thus, and that's defined by me. Spontaneity is when growth is inevitable. Is there inevitable growth? And we're not just talking about numbers on the bottom line on your profit margin. We're talking about growth. Are you growing your network? Are you growing your reputation? Are you growing your staff complement? Are you growing the number of years that you've been in business? Are you growing your product lines diversity wise? Are you growing in integrity? Are you learning from your business? Is it teaching you anything? Is it teaching the market anything? Happiness must have a growth element in it. And it must be basically a recipe for other people to scoop into and take away with them. So that at the end of the day, they say, I like the way Polina does business. I like the way Elmet does business. I like the way John does business. And I'm going to copy the best part of their business into my own business and create my own flavor of happiness, even though it has elements or I would say ingredients from so and so's business. Can we copy it and create a network of people with similar values, similar ideologies, and similar principles and practices so that you then have a community of happy businesses? Be happy. Don't just be calm. Be happy. Be structured. Be conformative. Be intentional. At the end of the day, you will be successful. Polina De Paulla, out.